Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm that Resolves, and this is the Praxis Midrange deck that Paradox took down the Invitational with yesterday. This deck does feel quite tuned here as well, and looks like the numbers had some real thought put into them. I do like the Singleton and Acolyte over here just to help you out when you're trying to be casting Heart of the Vault, or just getting up to that important 8 when you're trying to be getting there with the Xenan and Obelisk. Initiative Sense is another powerful card, and we do have some good frees here, but for the most part it's just going to be trying to make a 4-drop on turn 3 rather than trying to ramp out a Relic Raider. Whereas Dawnwalker is good on turn 2, of course, but I feel like this is perhaps much better at setting up a turn 2 where you can just play a Temple Scribe and perhaps a Crest or a depleted power and just set up for the powerful Crimson Firemaw or the Sandstorm Titan. Also got a reasonable matchup against weapons here, I believe, because we do have the Praxis Displacer, which is pretty good at just knocking weapons off stuff, as well as the Predatory Carnosaur, which is just really good at just gobbling up units that are a little bit bigger than they need to be. Now, for a bunch of interaction like the Purify and the Torch, we'll be able to keep ourselves alive till we're able to start going ham with the Hearts of the Vault. So let's get onto the ladder and see what the deck can do. Okay, so here we're on the draw, and it's quite an explosive hand. If our Initiate gets torched, we could very well be in trouble. But we do have a turn 3 Crimson Firemaw set up with a torch backup, so I think we will keep this. Though the hand is a little bit shaky, and we are going to be fetching up fire sources with our Seek powers. So the difference between Initiate the Sands and perhaps in other games, like Magic the Gathering with Llanowar Elf, is that the Initiate doesn't actually fix your power. Well, in terms of the influence you've got. But you can attack and use the power that's going to generate, so it's perhaps about just as good. Well, we're in a little bit of trouble here. We're against Praxis and we've got triple torch, which isn't going to be excellent. Okay, well, we can just set up for next turn. The Spirit Puller is going to make the Crimson Firemaw pretty much no matter what. And if our opponent, looks like our opponent's struggling on power as well. So, cheeky little scout, this is good. This is going to fix our influence here. And Initiate the Sands, no thank you. Just get in for our 1. Fortunately, our opponent seems to be a little bit power light here, so hopefully we should be able to finish him off with a Crimson Firemaw. Looks like our opponent agrees. So not much of a game there, unfortunately. But I suppose the deck does feel a little bit land light at times, or power light. Okay, here we are on the play with a powerful hand, and I think we'll keep this because turn 2 we get to ramp out the Initiate the Sands and the Temple Scribe. So I'll be cresting here just to try and sort of influence out. Okay, well, first Initiate's down. Purify against Stone Scar's probably fine, but just really want to be finding a little bit more power here so we're able to deploy our threats.
It's written right here.
Okay, there's Temple Scribe here, try and set something up. Just try us a little bit closer to finding the 4th power. So we should be able to keep our opponent busy here just by going Dawnwalker to Dawnwalker. With the Quarrying on cards and just seeing just Stone Scar so far, this could very well just be Grenadines. Yeah, so the Devour there pretty much confirms it. And opponent is going ham for killing our stuff. But eventually the Dawnwalker should be able to get there, as our opponent's not be able to play any Grenadines or anything yet. So here's the argument here. Do we get the 4th time Sigil to keep rebuying the Dawnwalkers? I'll just get the 2nd fire. And I do think we get the 2nd fire just so that we can actually play our Crimson Firemaw. And if we do draw a time, the Crimson Firemaw and the Behemoth will be able to bring back our Dawnwalkers. We have to be a little bit cautious of the sort of Madness Combust, Madness Devour, stuff that our opponent could be up to. Well, nice, we get to just purify this, get rid of it while it's a bit of a nuisance. Now, if our opponent wants to block, that's fine, it's still going to take 6, I'm just going to rebuy the Dawnwalkers next turn. And perhaps I'm going to keep one around so we get to combust one of our next plays. I've spinned 1 Devour so far. Okay, we'll gain the lives, I suppose. I'm going to play the Worldbearer first. It's still got evasion similar to the Crimson Firemaw, but if our opponent madnesses to combust one of our units, I'd much prefer they didn't get a cost discount. Okay, so they're just going to be killing one of our Dawnwalkers. Okay, well, we've just got 1 Dawnwalker to be working with now, but Dawnwalkers are still pretty good against this deck because they do have the other one, and they're just going to keep coming back. Like, using Devours makes me feel a lot more confident about having so many Fight Boom Beams in the deck. I perhaps should have just played the Carnosaur out to just gobble up the token, because we still get to keep our Dawnwalker, but then our opponent doesn't have a decent Madness target, and I think because I feel like that was a mistake, I'm just going to keep the Carnosaur in hand. Because we can pretty much assume that our opponent is going to have stuff going on. But if we'd have played the Carnosaur, they'd been able to absolutely blow us out. So just put Lethal on the table this way, without giving our opponent a free removal spell. Because you can imagine how devastating, like, Madness to steal our Carnosaur, kill one of our other threats, and then combust the Carnosaur would be. So I've managed to pick together the win there. Okay, so we're on the draw here, and if you had no Fire Influence, I'd be tempted to keep just on the back of 2 hearts, but realistically, you just can't do that. It's just going to be a little bit too slow. So that can be potentially reasonable here, because we do get to play Dawnwalker plus Killer and the Xenan Obelisk as well. So against TJP, so we do have to be a little bit concerned about Equivocate on our Dawnwalker. So if I get the second one there, just grab the Time Sigil. Play an Initiate, and then I think next turn might just make the Obelisk, get that down. My opponent doesn't put anything in play. Okay, well, Vanquishing Force is fine. I much prefer the Silencing Initiate. So I could torch this, then we just don't get to make any other plays. So I'm just going to make the Dawnwalker. Try and set this up with a Z Initiation. If our opponent taps out for like a Shellwing Ride or something next turn, we'll just be able to kill both of the threats. Well, I suppose it's a bit of a nuisance because that really throws a spanner in the works. So I suppose we'll just try and gobble them up for 5.
Trust in your skills.
Okay, so what do we get to do here? Well, I'm going to try and torch this. Then I'll probably not get any fast effects there. So I think I'm just going to use the Kill Another Dawnwalker, just get this back. I'm not too concerned about the Valkyrie Enforcer here because we're going to be able to blanket next turn. Get for 2 points of damage. We're not winning this race so far, but next turn we're going to be able to make one of our plays just to bring back the Dawnwalker, and then we should be able to bring back the Dawnwalker to kill something every other turn. I should be able to kill this Seraph before it's able to activate. I think I'd much rather the Behemoth get equivocated, though I think it's probably priced into equivocating the Dawnwalker if they do have the equivocate in hand. Okay, so it's just stand together to make the team a little bit bigger. So Hailstorm's a bit of a nuisance hit, but I still can't attack with the Seraph. Okay, well, let's attack with this big boy. I think as none of our effects are going to be tagging our opponent's units, we'll just go for the 2 damage on the opponent here. And then we've got quite a lot of burn here because we've got the Heart of the Vault on top of our deck, plus a 0-cost torch.
Trust in your skills.
Now the Valkyrie there is reasonable because that's going to stop us being able to kill something. So this week here is our opponent just dead anyway. If we torch here, attack in, and I think that is the case. So I'll torch this, and no matter what hit, we'll get to get it for 7. We'll set up an additional 2 points left gain if anything managed to go wrong here, but that's not the case. And Worldbearer Behemoth with Xenan and Obelisk is certainly powerful as it gets up to that +2/+2. Although the +2 wasn't really required there. Oh, here we go. So we're playing as Yotta, and Yotta is very likely on stream. This hand's a little bit ropey because it just does have the 2/3/4 that's not super exciting. Although we can use the Praxis Displacer for a little bit of value if we're against a control deck. I think on the play we can do a little bit better. Just look for like Initiate the Sands plus Sandstorm time, just something much more powerful to be doing. I think we are going to Crest here just because we do have an idea of what we want, but something in the middle, and a Sandstorm Titan is perfect here. So let's just get the Temple Scribe down. Next turn's very likely just going to be developing our power with the Seek power over here.
Mind over body.
And, okay, so grab a Time Sigil here. And we'll just play out the Initiate the Sands. Next turn we are at 5, which is going to lock down our Amber Monument, so I think we're just going to play the Amber Monument depleted and not double blocking here. Well, it's too big anyway, so. Okay, so we do have the 6th power there, and we are pretty much set up in terms of influence, so I'll just make a Sandstorm type if this gets vanquished and so be it. We're just going to play a big boy like for the next couple of turns. Okay, so no attack here tells me that we're perhaps safe just to chuck in with the Predatory Carnosaur, just gobble up one of these. And I'm not going to let my guy get double blocked, so I'll just sit back there. We're going to attack next turn because we do get the Heart of the Vault just to pick off an extra 2 points of damage. So this is telling me they've got a little bit of something going on. So that'll bring them up to 7. Actually, don't want to kill this one. We'll kill this one first. So if they do the Final Star, brings them up to 7, but we've got 7 points of damage on it. Okay, so it's just stand together. Is it stand together plus Final Star because that'll be an absolute blowout because that would be 8 damage? Yeah, so you got me. But well, unfortunately for our opponent, we're just going to go Carnosaur again. Kill this because this is the one that's got the potential to actually grow. Also managed to, we did lose a lot of resources, but our opponent did have to spend a lot of their own just to get in for that extra damage and just kill the Sandstorm Titan. And I think the attack for 12 here plus the Heart of the Vault backup is probably going to be a bit of a problem. Oh nice, got a Crimson Firemaw. So this will help us finish off the game pretty shortly as well. And it's unlikely that opponent's going to be able to kill us here. We're just going to block whatever's biggest. So we should have been able to wrap this one up.
Tell me, what do you see?
And we also, if our attacks don't really do much here, our opponent would be able to swing back and kill us. We've got the ability to be able to rebuild quite nicely by being able to just play double Crimson Firemaw. But what's at 5? And we've got a torch for the Eco-Fan, so okay, so there's a fast effect over here, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to see where it is now. Yeah, so rise on the wall might have just been, I don't know, equivocate or something, but just not quite enough to get there. Okay, so this hand is not quite what we're looking for, although it does get to fool our opponents into thinking with tokens. But that's not a good enough reason to keep a hand, although I suppose it is actually a lot more threat dense than it looks because we do also have the Amber Monument here. And the draw as well. It's the last game of the series. Yeah, let's keep it. Let's see how this develops. Let's just see how bad hands work out for us. Our guess fell. So, not the end of the world because the Amber Monument is going to be a bit of a help here. And if our opponent uses a resource to try and kill the initiative sands when we don't really need it, then I'm more than happy. Ah, taste it. No, Temple Scribe here. Just Praxis Displacer, nice. So we get to displace our own Temple Scribe just to keep drawing cards. Aww. Not very nice. So I can play the Friendly Wisp out, but it's got a problem in our opponent's got Virus Favor in the deck, so I'm not going to do that. Although if our opponent had to annihilate this or something like that, just stop us drawing 2, that'd be sweet because we could follow up with a Sandstorm Titan. But generally, outside of playing against a Legion or decks where you just know they've not got interaction, I don't really bother by messing around with Friendly Wisp. So this plan here is just to develop the Sandstorm Titan, then probably just going to Praxis Displacer the Felled Bloodcaster and just chunk in for a bunch of damage. Okay, well, a new plan. So at this point we are going to play the Amber Monument down just so that we're able to play out our Carnosaur, because Carnosaur is pretty good against this deck because it doesn't really care about Aegis. Then next time if we draw a 6-pack, we get to make Temple Scribe plus a Xenan Obelisk. Not sure why the opponent just keep him back in the Felled Bloodcaster all the time, because I was never really getting there with just chunks of 1 damage. So I suppose everyone has identified that their life total is probably a little bit more important now, because they will be dealing damages in chunks of 7, 9, 11 with the Champion of Cunning. But the Champion of Cunning, if our opponent is able to play it without the Shadow Influence, it will just get gobbled up by Carnosaur. Okay, so I guess it's just Worldbearer Behemoth here, because this is going to help us out. If this survives, not only is it a really good killer target, my opponent just taps out for half threat here, because it will have 8 toughness, so it'll be bigger than a Champion of Cunning. Yep, so this is what we're expecting. So Champion of Cunning is going to go up to be a 7/5, but the Worldbearer Behemoth here is going to just take a bite out of crime. Which develops us which lets us develop the Xenan Obelisk if we really want to. I think for the most part, just going to make a Temple Scribe here, just draw a card. Yeah, sure. Let's play the Initiative Sands, because this means that if we draw an Underplated Power, not only will the Xenan Obelisk be huge for us, but it allows us to draw the cards after Friendly Wisp into the Predatory Carnosaur. Well, we've also got the Hailstorm, so the Xenan Obelisk would have done too much there. But this will bring us up to 7, so I'll do this. I don't really want to use the Predatory Carnosaur just to eat up a Felled Bloodcaster, I'm not super interested. happy just to take 4, although if my opponent doesn't play any threats here. So if my opponent doesn't play any other threats here, I'm just going to draw the 2 cards. I probably will just Predatory Carnosaur it now. Yeah, I'm going to take my 4. So I'll take a Battle Cram here, and then we're going to chunk in for 4. We've also got a Xenan Initiation backup as well. And now we're at 8 power, then pretty much any like big fat draw we've got, even Dawnwalkers are going to be able to do a little bit of work here with the Friendly Wisp, because the Xenan Obelisk is going to give them +1/+1. And this is going to go to a 10, which is a bit of a nuisance. But I'm just going to draw some cards off our Wisp. A second Obelisk means that we can... Yeah, so attack with both. Our opponent just takes the easy gobble of the 4/3 here, then I might just use the Xenan Initiation. Okay, well, let's see. It means we get to keep the Xenan Initiation. Yes. Pretty tempted just to Xenan Initiation up the Wisp if our opponent block the just the easy eat of the Acolyte. But with the double Obelisk now, pretty much anything we draw is a threat, and the Friendly Wisps are even able to trigger themselves for the card draw. Well, we just had the Stone Cold Perfects, which is where you want to be against Val. Well, Dawnwalker, it's your turn to do some work. There you go. See how powerful this deck can be. Okay, so that was the Praxis Midrange Invitational deck from Paradox. This is actually a really powerful deck. This is actually what I mastered with. I was stuck in Diamond 1 hell for a couple of days at the beginning of the season here. And then I saw this deck, gave it a try, just got through Diamond 1 in about 7 or 8 games. So it was basically just one clean sweep. But overall, I do like what this deck's doing. I can tell it's been very tuned and that some thought has gone into it. You know, we're not just playing like mad playsets of everything here. A little bit uncertain on only playing 2 Worldbearer Behemoth because I do really like this card, but I guess you do need to trim something somewhere so you are able to fit everything else in. And I like as well that even though this is a Praxis mid-range deck, we're not just playing mono 6 drops, because a lot of Praxis decks can fall into the trap where they've just got like 8 to 12 6 drops and they just end up dying before they're able to deploy anything. But I think you can probably get away with that a little bit more because we do have the Xenan Obelisk just to turn everything we've got into a threat, and I've actually been really impressed with Praxis Displacer, which is a card I've traditionally not really liked too much, although I do like what this can do in this deck because it can reset killer effects. So either reset the Predatory Carnosaur or reset something that you've got the Xenan Initiation on, as well as being able to protect you from Permafrost, because Permafrost is a bit of a nuisance when your opponent gets to answer one of your 5 power plays with like a 1 power card. You do get to lose a bit of tempo there, but you do get the card back. And also in a super late game, you can also Praxis Displacer a Heart of the Vault if you want to give it Vigilance and be able to draw some cards. But for the most part, it's going to be picking up some Temple Scribes. So the deck's sweet. You should really try it out. Thanks for watching. I've been That Resolves. I'll see you around.